Welcome into another edition, another episode of the Orange Bowl Huddle. We are here at the beautiful, and I mean beautiful, Hollywood Hard Rock, right by the pool. We're not going to jump in, but we are going to jump into year 2 of the college football playoff, the 12-team format. And to do so, we've got a loaded panel with me. We've got Rich Clark, the executive director of the CFP. Welcome, Rich. We've got Henri Crockett, the 87th president and chair of the Orange Bowl. And of course, we've got Orange Bowl CEO Eric Poms, who always makes time for us. Love to see all three of you guys here on a beautiful day. First of all,
Mike,
what do you think of South Florida?
Spectacular.
Yeah,
it's a little warm. But man, this hotel is amazing.
Yeah,
I do want to jump in the pool right now, though.
Well, you are the executive director. You can pretty much do whatever you like. So
bad luck. I won't do it.
Fair enough. But we will dive into year 2 of the 12-team format for the college football playoff. What has been the biggest adjustment for you going from year 1 last year to this year?
Well, first of all, we're really excited about how year 1 went. The campus games were spectacular.
Yeah.
And I got to go to some of those, and I know you guys got to see some of them as well. And they went as well as we could have expected. Electric on the field, in the stands, just everything about it was amazing. So we're really happy about that. And of course, the quarterfinals and the semifinals, our amazing bowl partners really helped us to step it up from the campus games to that traditional feel of college football. And we were very excited how well they did, but we had no doubt that our bowl partners, especially our Orange Bowl partners, were going to knock it out the park, and they did. And then the champ game was fantastic, and we're looking forward to this year. The one big change, though, that we made from last year to this year was one that our commissioners jumped on immediately. We went from last year, we reseeded based on the conference champions, the highest ranked conference champions for them. We reseeded them as teams 1, 2, 3, and 4. This year, we're going strictly with ranking or seeding, and the selection committee will make that happen for us. And I think that'll give us a better look, because now the teams that earned it over the regular season will get ranked and they'll be seeded accordingly. So it's going to be an even better year this year, and we're really excited.
Now, obviously, no one knows more about the playoff than you. You're in it. You're the executive director, but you're also a former football player at the Air Force Academy. How does being a former player kind of shape your perspective and maybe some of the decision-making you do with the college football playoff?
Well, and I know Henri also, the incredible storied career that he's had could relate to this. But you learn things in football about life that you can't get anywhere else. And I feel like we have to make sure that we're keeping our focus on the student athletes, because ultimately it's about them. We want them to have a spectacular experience, but it's just a culmination to a broader experience that they get in football. So for me, as a former student athlete, I really want to make sure that we keep our focus on them, because that's what we do this for. I'll also say, though, that our team, I played at the Air Force Academy 40 years ago. 40 years ago. But we went to 4 bowl games.
Yeah.
And those games were the most memorable. I still have my bowl watches. My wife calls them trinkets, but they, to me, are treasures. And I still have them, because those bowl experiences with my teammates, with my family, just the whole experience of it was something I'll never forget. And I want our student athletes to remember that every year. I want them to remember the first round, and then every other game, the quarters, semis, and the champ game that they participate in as lifetime events. But we also, of course, we can't forget about our fans, the families of those student athletes, everybody that's involved in it. We just want it to be a great experience that they'll remember forever, and that's something that was important to me as a student.
You know, with the advent of social media, I love the fact that we get to see inside look at some of these things sometimes. So when teams come down here to South Florida, we see them at the beach, we see them at theme parks if they're in Orlando. It is very cool to see, to your point about the experience for the student athletes. Anything you can share in terms of what your priorities are as a committee between now and, of course, the playoff the next few months?
Well, we're focused right now on just preparing for obviously the first round games. That's really hard because there's 136 teams that could play that first round. So we're helping all 136 prepare as if they're going to step into the first round. We're also working very closely with Eric Poms and the team here to get us ready for the championship game, because that's the culmination. There's less prep for us with the quarters and the semis because our bowl partners do such a great job with that. But the first round and the quarterfinals are really important that we get those right.
Yeah.
We're also working very closely with our selection committee,
right,
because they have a big job in front of them. They do every year. They get scrutinized. People,
I was gonna say, thankless job.
I know, but they are the best, and they do it with such integrity and excellence. And I really have a lot of faith and respect for our selection committee. So we're making sure that they're ready to roll too, because they're going to have a tough job this year.
Yeah, no doubt. Henri, I want to move over to you. Rich mentioned your storied career. You're the first person to play in an Orange Bowl and now serve as president of the Orange Bowl. How does that shape your priorities and your new duties?
For me, it's always, for me being able to play in 3 Orange Bowls, I throw that out there. But I always think about the player. Because I remember this has been the best time of the year for us, because you understand throughout the year, you're being told where to be, what time you got to be here, how long you got to be there. Your life is pretty much planned for you. And when you come to the bowl games, the bowl game is really all about the student athlete. You know what I mean? They have all the different events for us. We try all the different type of foods. So you really get an opportunity to immerse yourself into what the city has to offer. And that's what I really remember. And all the cool gifts that we get, like Rich said, I remember taking a lot of the gifts back to my coaches, to my moms.
Right.
So it's just an amazing opportunity for the players that take part in these bowl games.
Trinkets, they're called. Trinkets.
That's what my wife calls them. To us, they're treasures.
No doubt.
Treasures.
No doubt. From the football aspect of it, how excited are you for the season to watch it all play out, knowing that the Orange Bowl South Florida are going to have the spotlight on it?
Well, for me, this is pretty interesting, because what I learned from the first couple of weeks, we don't even know who is going to be in the game.
Yeah.
So it's that surprise factor. And the cool thing is, that it'll all end up here at the Orange Bowl.
Yeah.
And like everybody knows, no one does it better than us. Like we have our members are really good at hosting, and we put hospitality and hosting at the forefront of everything that we do.
Yeah.
So it gives us an opportunity to really show all the cool things that we do in the community. A lot of times you think about the Orange Bowl, you really think about just the game.
Yeah.
But we have so many things that we do in the community, and that's what really draws me to it. And I get an opportunity to serve along with some of the most amazing people on this Orange Bowl committee, because they're so selfless. Especially when it comes down to our Orange Bowl cares, like we provide all our resources in the partnership with the CFP. We do such an amazing thing where we can go into these underserved communities, and we can redo their libraries and and create resources for we can even the playing field for these student athletes, or just students around this country. So those are the things that we're so proud of, the impact that we're making in our community. So if I want to leave with anything, I want to leave about the Orange Bowl cares. It's like it's a passion of mine, and just like the rest of our Orange Bowl committee members, because that's something that that's what the Orange Bowl is really all about. That's the heart of who we are, giving back.
I think the last time I saw you guys, we were at a school here in Miami and raising money for teachers for a classroom. Right. One of the teachers was trying to build a garden for her science class. So that is very cool. So could you touch a little bit more on the importance of that too? Because I know you have the Crockett Foundation, and then as the president with the Orange Bowl committee, you've got to be really proud of the work that happens in the community. When you drive around town and you see the OB drawn on walls and you see the fields, how much does that mean to you?
It means a lot to me, because I grew up on one of those fields that we did in Pompano Beach, at Mitchell Park, and looking at some of the tech centers that we're putting up. And for me and the Crockett Foundation, we're really big on tech. We understand that's the natural wave of the world. That's where the world is going. And we got to get these kids ready for jobs that haven't been created yet. So when I see the Orange Bowl cares, building tech centers for the kids, give these kids the opportunity to learn about what's next, it's important. And I think that's great, because we always forward thinking. And we start talking about impact, you have to go back to the kids. And you go back to these communities where they don't have all these resources for the Orange Bowl cares and the Orange Bowl and partners with the CFP to be able to go into these communities and making a direct impact. I mean, it's gonna catapult these kids into careers that they've never seen before, never heard before, and that's what it's all about.
No doubt, and I love that you can actually see the impact in real life. I mean, shining example of it right here. All right, Eric, I love talking football with you. It seems every time I see you, that's all we do. You've been part of the Orange Bowl for such a long time, part of its history. You've seen a lot of changes in college football, from the Bowl Alliance to the BCS era, now to the CFP. What stands out, or what do you love most about this new era with the playoff?
But when I got to the Orange Bowl, I had a full set of hair like you.
It's going, man. It's going.
No, when I reflect back, I got here during the Bowl Coalition when it was first created. It was the first, I think, step in the modern era of postseason college football. And that graduated to the Bowl Alliance 3 years later. And then the BCS was created, which had 4 4-year terms. And then in 2015, the College Football Playoff began. And each iteration, has improved postseason college football. From our standpoint, you always embrace change and work with Rich and now the CFP Management Committee to put on the best show for college football across the country. And we're honored here to be part of the Tier 1 position of postseason college football. And so it's exciting. It's an exciting time. Had a great year last year with the 12-team playoff, and we look forward to this year's quarterfinal.
Yeah, so we've got the Orange Bowl, of course, this year, and then South Florida will be hosting the national championship. Could you talk about the community-led efforts in conjunction with the Orange Bowl and how these events will happen?
Well, first and foremost, the Capital One Orange Bowl has been around for 92 years. This gentleman right here you mentioned, it should be stated, is the first president ever that's played in our game. So it's pretty special to us.
3 times, don't forget.
3 times.
Don't forget.
3 times. We had our first iteration last year in the 12-team playoff with the semifinal.
Yeah.
It was spectacular.
Great game.
You can't beat Penn State versus Notre Dame. It was just an amazing night. It was a great game and so forth. But we've had a chance to spend time with Rich and the CFP team about what we learned from last year. And it's going to help us as we go into a quarterfinal year this year. We'll play January 1 at noon. It's the first Orange Bowl, I think, in 61 years that's been early afternoon. It's always been 4:30 or 8 o'clock, so it's going to be really neat there. And then, when the College Football Playoff was created, the one distinction was the national championship game, which has historically been embedded in the bowl system, was pulled out, much like you see the NFL does with Super Bowl, was spit out across the country. And the Orange Bowl Committee, Henri was a big part of this, leads the effort to bring that game to South Florida. And we were fortunate enough to have it in 2021. COVID came around, the game was played, it was an amazing accomplishment, but we turned to the CFP, Rich and everybody, and said, you need to come back. This was not the full experience that, of course, we had experienced in other communities, and they gave us the opportunity for 26. So literally 18 days later, we're gonna have an opportunity to work with Rich and his staff as the host committee to bring it back here, and we're working hard at it. It's a very familiar thing for this marketplace. Super Bowl's been here, World Cup's coming, and so we've been at it for 4 years, and we're excited about what's to come.
Of course, Rich came back. Look at this place.
It was not a hard decision because Miami, it's a destination city, but the Orange Bowl team knows how to put on big events. And we're just excited. Easy decision to come back here.
And listen, someone who covers a lot of sports in this town, let me tell you, to have the Orange Bowl kick off the 2026 calendar of what South Florida is going to be for sports is incredible. Because you mentioned the World Cup. Yeah. We could have another Stanley Cup run down here again. You never know. We're spending a lot of time in Edmonton lately. Wouldn't mind spending a little bit more time down here in South Florida with you guys. But speaking of the playoff, we are going to dive in to what the playoff bracket is going to look like potentially for 2025-2026. All right, now we're joined by another guest, the bracket. Not going to do much talking, but it's going to say a lot for sure. And I do want to preface this before we start moving teams across the board here, that these are the top 12 from last year. We're just using them as an example, so don't come after me in my mentions on social media. Rich, can you tell us the difference between last year, or what we should expect with the seeding for this year in 2026?
Well, the one thing that we won't do this year that we did last year is that we reseeded the top 4 conference champions. The top 4 ranked conference champions were reseeded as 1 through 4. We will not do that this year. This year, we're going to stick with the ranking that the selection committee provides.
Yep.
So that's a big change.
1 through 12.
Yes.
So in this scenario, what are we looking at then?
Okay, so what we would have here, the top 4 teams as ranked, and you see them according to their ranking here, the top 4 teams will get a bye past the first round. So number 1, Oregon.
Yep.
Number 2, Georgia. Number 3, Texas. And number 4, Penn State.
There you go.
They were the top 4 as ranked by the selection committee. And so this year they would be the top 4 and they would get a bye over the first round.
And the first round looks like what now?
So the first round would look like this. Number 5, Notre Dame. Number 6, Ohio State. Number 7, Tennessee. And number 8, Indiana. These teams will host a first round game.
Right.
So there's a benefit to 5 through 8, of course. And they earn that through their regular season play. And then we'll round it out with number 9, Boise State, number 10, SMU, and then our top conference champions will bring it up because these teams, Arizona State and Clemson, were not ranked in the top 12. However, the commissioners value conference championships, and so they will be one of the 5 or 2 of the 5 highest ranked conference champions. So Arizona State will be 11 and Clemson will be 12, and that will round out the bracket.
So it does look a little different from last year. And again, disclaimer, this is last year's 1 through 12. This is what it will look like now. All right, we see all the bowl games down here.
Yeah.
So how do we decide bowl locations for following rounds?
So for this year, we are honoring bowl commitments to conferences.
Okay.
And that's really important. This will be the last year that we do that, but it's very important. So for the Rose Bowl has a commitment with the Big Ten. So in this case, with Oregon being in the Big Ten, the Rose Bowl will host that game.
Quick jog down to LA.
Yes, quick jog. And then Sugar Bowl has a relationship with the SEC. So they will host Georgia. Then after that, because the Cotton Bowl and the Orange Bowl don't have bowl ties with these teams, we're going to go with geographics.
Okay,
so
nice.
Texas has the luxury of a Cotton Bowl, and Penn State closest geographically to the Orange Bowl.
Yeah. Welcome back, Penn State.
Right,
Last year and
there you
this
go.
year.
There you go.
Henri, as a former player, you look at this, and we mentioned the value of 5 through 8, getting to host a game at home. How do you, in terms of prep and recovery, when you look at this board, what do you think of as a player?
Well, first thing I think as a player, I think that it's fair. They earned the right to be there. But then recovery is recovery. I think once you get to this point, everybody's banged up. You're not going to feel good. So the biggest thing is trying to identify who we're going to play.
Yep.
And just getting yourself prepared for the team that you're getting ready to play. So that's the most important thing. Mindset, understanding that your body's going to be what it's going to be. So there's no recovery. And just focus on who you're getting ready to play. And as you get to the quarterfinals and semifinals, they're all different seasons. So as you see, the level of intensity rises as you move through the quarterfinals to the semifinals to the finals.
And Rich, if you could, real quick, Fiesta Bowl and Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, where are we going here?
So what we'll do there is geographics, right? Okay. So the highest seed in a pod, and a pod meaning pod here,
sure,
will get that geographic advantage. So in this case, Oregon being the highest seed, Fiesta Bowl, geographics, and then Georgia being the highest seed. That's a good one, Peach Bowl. And that would then round out the bracket. And once we get that done, it's go time. We're ready to play. Ready to play.
January 19th, right here.
There it is.
That's where Eric comes into play.
Sunny Miami.
So operationally, what's it like for you guys this year, getting ready for obviously another Orange Bowl game, but then helping out with the CFP National Championship?
2 different buckets. First of all, one of the learnings we had with the CFP and Rich was this is a 4-round playoff. The importance of standardization, consistency, these teams that are going through there, that they have a common experience in their preparation, the stakes are way too high. So for us, the difference from last year, we were waiting 2 rounds, to Henri's point, and this year we'll be waiting just 1 round. I would be pretty excited to go to South Bend to see the winner of that game play Penn State. That'll be a lot of fun. I love the regionality that's in play here, so that's great. In terms of the national championship game, again, the CFP, this is their event. We, Orange Bowl, led the host committee up here in South Florida with a lot of corporations and government and CVBs. And so we know our roles to make sure it is not just meeting expectations, but exceeding them.
There we go.
And we're hoping for gorgeous weather and a spectacular tournament that culminates with Hard Rock Stadium on January 19th.
I will say something, just being a part of the Orange Bowl, festivities last couple of years. When you take care of South Florida seems to take care of you back. And I think that's what I've taken away from all these events the last few years. And South Florida is going to be right in the heart of all of it again. This should be a lot of fun. You know, it's still a few months away, but we're getting ready.
I'll tell you, and Henri touched on it earlier, but one of the unspoken pieces of the national championship game is the community give back.
Yeah.
And we do a partnership with Extra Yard for Teachers, which is the CFP Foundation's, core program. And we're doing so many classrooms and so forth that we're renovating into innovative learning centers. Not to mention that there's 2 legacy gift fields coming here to Miami.
Right.
So we're excited about it. It's giving back to the community as much as the economic impact that comes with the national championship game.
So much to look forward to this year, building up to that January 19th date, and honestly, and beyond. Rich, Henri, Eric, want to thank you guys so much for joining us.
Thanks, Mike.
I know it was really pulling teeth to get you to come out here by the pool on such a beautiful day.
Somebody's gotta do it.
Somebody's got to do it. It's a dirty job. And hey, you know what? The 4 of us and everyone here, the crew, we don't mind doing it. Thank you guys so much.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks for joining another edition of the Orange Bowl Huddle. I'm your host, Mike Cugno. We will see you next time.